unlocking Vertex AI. Today, we're going to be getting into the Reimagine customer experience with Google Cloud. And I've got some special guests today that we're going to be going through, kind of just getting into a little bit more conversation about everything that's going on inside of Google Cloud around customer experience and around AI. We've only got about 30 minutes scheduled for this webinar, so we'll keep this quick. We'll definitely have time for questions towards the end. So we'll go ahead and get going here. For those of you that have not joined some of the webinars in the past, if you go to ttecdigital.com, you can actually find some of the webinars from last year. The format we used for some of those was kind of around, we would show some demos, we would get into some technical detail. But today, since we have special guests from Google, we're going to do a little bit more of an interview style webinar. So you've got myself, Caleb Johnson. I'm VP here at TTEC Digital. I oversee our Google practice. And then I have with me Ricardo Coruna. He is a go-to-market AI ML specialist at Google. And then Ji-Hee Lim, and she's a cloud AI industry solutions specialist. So it's wonderful to have them here. They're going to bring a depth of knowledge.
Product manager.
Product manager. Well, you can be a product manager too. How about that? And be able to answer lots of questions for us. So just from a housekeeping thing for the guests, if you don't mind just staying on mute so we just kind of avoid the background noise, that would be perfect. You've got the chat function in Google Meet that you can put in questions anytime you want to, and we may even stop if we need to, and we can answer questions, or we'll get those at the end. So just really quick, I think everybody's familiar with Google, so I'm not going to do an intro for them. But for those that you may not be familiar with TTEC Digital and TTEC broadly, we are a global customer experience services company. So we actually have been doing this for about 40 years. We've got part of our business is what we call TTEC Engage. That is our BPO business. We actually manage customer experiences for our customers globally. We've got over 55,000 agents that sit in contact centers all over the world and work with all of your top brands. And then you've got TTEC Digital. And we are the professional services and SI part of the business. And we've been partnered with Google over the last several years, really digging into conversational AI, as well as some of the new CCaaS things that Google is doing, which I'm sure we'll talk about today. But we have, for the last 20 years, we have spent time working in the contact center and customer experience space, implementing and working with all of the major contact center technologies. And so that's really our background and expertise, which makes for a very nice combination between TTEC and Google, which hopefully you'll get some of that today. So I'm going to stop presenting here, and we're going to get into a couple of questions with Ricardo and Ji-Hee. So I'll kind of open this up to both of you, but if you think about the last 12 months has been just kind of a whirlwind of changes, new development, innovation around AI. And so I just kind of want to start with kind of how Google is looking at organizing AI inside of Google Cloud, especially focused on a customer experience standpoint. Just kind of give your opinion on kind of how Google's approaching this at this point. So
amazing. Caleb, I can start with answering these questions. So hello, everybody. My name is Ricardo. I work for Google, as Caleb shared before. So Caleb, I think that it's important to share that Google has been bringing, as part of our products, AI advancements. So when we are talking about Google Search, YouTube, Gmail, Google Assistant, Google has been leveraging AI for many, many years already, and always bring the latest on our large language models, on our AI technologies to these products that serve clients all around the world. But when you're talking about corporations, when you're talking about organizations, we are talking about Google organizing our products and having a set of products and tools as part of our Vertex AI, Google Vertex AI. So this is available for companies, for organizations, in order to access our AI solutions. For instance, the solutions that we have for customer service, CCAI, solutions that we do also have for retail, like the Vertex AI Retail, and also new products or new solutions that we do have as Vertex AI Search and Conversation. So Vertex AI Conversation, for instance, It is our solution, Google's solution, that enables our customers to deploy virtual agents in a multi-channel approach, talking about having virtual agents available on websites, available in apps, and also for sure as part of customer services. We also have the Vertex AI search, which provides to our customers a Google search quality out of box. So our customers can, for instance, connect Vertex AI conversation, Vertex AI search to their data, and use that data and structure in order to train again our solutions that are available for customers and organizations. One more thing that I'd like to highlight, Vertex AI, it is a platform. So we offer solutions, but we also offer more than 130 ML models or foundation models as part of our model garden. And foundation models that are created by Google, and also models that were created and developed by third-party companies that's also available as part of our model garden. Also, we also offer tools in terms of helping companies to deploy, to build and deploy and customize models that we have in terms, or that we have available in our Vertex AI. So in summary, Vertex AI, it is a platform that we offer the opportunity to customers to get access to our solutions, SCC AI, Doc AI, Vertex AI search and conversation. And also we offer models that customers can get access to integrate in their applications or to customize using the tools that we have available as well.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. So thank you, Ricardo. That helps a lot on the Vertex side. So Jihi, I guess I'll direct this one to you since Ricardo took the first question. So, I think a lot of our customer base, when I think about who we interact with, many customers are familiar with Dialogflow, or they're familiar with some of the speech to text capabilities that comes out of Google CCAI. Some of those brands I think are a little bit more recognized. So with that, it sounds like it's kind of being rolled into Vertex as kind of the umbrella term. So if I think about where you're starting to see some of these, the advancements that have come with AI, but these improvements that are happening within conversational AI, kind of how that's falling into Vertex. If you can just kind of dig into a little bit of that, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, and I'm happy to take, questions along the way. But when we're thinking about the overall kind of conversational AI, and I assume that the participants here are already familiar with that Google has our kind of contact center offering, and that has different elements within the contact center offerings. And we'd like to think about, kind of personas within this kind of big contact center space. So there are kind of like from my perspective, there are kind of four main kind of personas. And I want to touch upon each of these personas and some of the products and features that, we are releasing to help these different personas. So there's the first kind of personas I'm going to talk about is obviously supervisors and managers. And these are the people who lead a team of agents. And also the second kind of persona is agents. And then the third persona is obviously our customers. And then the last one is kind of the bot builders and admins. But since, again, we're kind of familiar with Dialogflow, I'm going to focus on the first kind of three and what are some of the, exciting features that we're launching with the Gen AI. So if we think about supervisors and managers, I think a lot of things I hear when I go to these kind of contact centers is that they have very kind of limited visibility into what is actually happening. Traditionally, contact center has always been about, hey, what's the average handle time? What's the volume that my agents handled? But now with this whole advancement in, Gen AI and in large language models, we have the technology to really understand what is going on in each of the conversations that's happening between their agent and their customers. So for example, we are launching this quality AI. And in I think like next month for public preview that basically auto scores your conversations like automatically based on LLM. And you know, like the whole kind of like quality management and conversation intelligence space has like changed a lot over the past like 20 years. But with the speech to analytics that's kind of coming into the market, you really can understand like everything that's going on in the conversation. So let's like kind of think about like a more kind of strategic, you know, more kind of concrete level. It will provide you, like Quality AI is going to provide you performance and then like a kind of scoring over your live agents as well as virtual agents. So traditionally, you know, if you think about virtual agents, the containment has been like the top thing. How many calls like, you know, did the virtual agents, you know, handled before it gets escalated to live agents? But now with this kind of quality AI, you can not just understand the containment rate, but really trying to understand, hey, like these are, let's say 20% of the calls were partially contained. And why is that only partially contained? Is it because the bot design itself was like not the best, following the best practice? Or is it just like a you know, customer, like regardless of how well your bot is designed, they want to talk to your live agents? And if so, like what's the reason behind it? And you know, the quality AI tool allows you to like actually drill this into, here's the top intents, here's like, you know, how many calls that were contained, and here's like, you know, you can listen to the conversation, you can see the sentiment along the conversation and trends of these conversations, and really deep dive into like what is the reason behind this kind of customer experience for virtual agents. And that's the same with like live agents as well. Live agents, like, you know, traditionally only like about less than 5% of your calls, like, you know, would have been evaluated by your quality analysts or supervisors. But with this kind of LLM powered auto scoring, now you can get to see every conversation and analyze every conversations. And so where we have seen customers kind of using this is that instead of like focusing on agents' performance that are based on 3 to 5 conversations that this agent handled over the month, you know, over this like 100 calls that they would handle like a month, you can actually really understand what this agent what this agent was good at, which topics this agent, you know, excelled at, and which topics that this agent did not do very well. And it also kind of goes well, you know, not to mention, there's always like real-time aspect as well. So for the supervisors to catch these calls in real time, using this kind of LLM-based analysis before the calls kind of turn like sour. The second part is like agents. Agents are, again, like the flowers of these you know, contact center. And as you guys probably have known, like we spend a lot of time trying to improve our agents, like, you know, more productive. Like we want to make them super agents with this, you know, advanced technology that we currently have. So if you're familiar with our kind of agent assist product, there's, you know, now like it's kind of a, I think, almost a table stake. We provide like LLM-based summarization so that the agent, after the long conversation, does not need to spend like a minute or 2 minutes or however many minutes that they are spending in like typing up the notes in their case summary. And also along with that, we have like, you know, the generative knowledge assist. So, you know, we are all probably familiar with like article suggestions. You know, the relevant articles will pop up, but instead of like that, we are kind of going beyond that. So using Gen AI, what is the most kind of appropriate response based on the knowledge base that you have that's been grounded in, you know, again, your knowledge base. We also have real-time kind of agent coaching. So instead of like, you know, like you can provide the kind of guidance to our, like, you know, basically LLM as a prompt. What are the steps as the agent is best to follow? What is like, you know, more effective sentences that this agent can provide in order to increase like upsell. So we provide that kind of real-time agent coaching as well as part of our agent assist suite. Another thing, there's a lot of it, but another thing is also the agent training. I talked about how supervisors now have the view of every conversation that has been handled in the contact center. And based on this kind of performance history of your agent A, we can provide basically this training with an LLM-based bot.
Wow.
Like imagine, it's not just like, you know, the training that used to do the, you know, like the recordings, or like, you know, you sit with your supervisor, say, hey, like listen to the calls, you should have done this, you should have done that. Instead, you can practice with a bot as if it's like a customer. And really, and that the bot that focuses and, you know, highlights the areas that you could have improved as an agent. I think that is going to impact, you know, again, change kind of the whole kind of agent training scene. I think there's like a lot of other agents. So let me just like mention two more things.
Yeah.
So another thing that we talked about is kind of the real the translation. Like with the large language model, now we can do the real-time translation, both voice and chat. Within CCI platform, we do have this kind of real-time translation for chat already. And then another kind of aspect, and then, you know, the voice translation coming up in the future. Another kind of channels that we are trying to go after is kind of emails and social media.
Okay.
So we hear from especially a lot of like financial industry customers. There is like huge inbox, like incoming mail. There's like a manual efforts to triage this. But now we can do this kind of smart, you know, topic identification that allows these emails to be routed to an inbox appropriately without having to have any manual intervention in between. So that's kind of the agent focus. Lastly, let me like kind of touch up on like some like lightly on customer experience. So, you know, as part of kind of our Dialogflow product, we are introducing kind of duplex as well as like, you know, integration with like a 3D type of avatars. If you're not familiar with duplex, it is kind of our hyper realistic kind of sound voice capabilities. So, you know, when you're as a customer, you're talking to a bot that sounds a lot more like human, not like I didn't get that, or you know, that sounds like a bot, because people do not want to talk to bots. Another thing that we are bringing up is kind of call companion. If you're familiar with that, it is like a interactive kind of visual interface that allows virtual agents to communicate with, you know, users more conveniently. Like, you know, even if it's like kind of a more kind of complex like account numbers or credit card numbers or address that sometimes the Dialogflow agents or virtual agents may have a hard time catching. You know, now you can interact as a customer, you can interact with virtual agents in the format that you want. In this case, obviously, it's either texting or putting in the information via the chat format. So kind of on a high level, I talked a lot, Caleb. So, you know, feel free to ask if you have any other questions, please help, you know, ask any questions. But yes, like supervisors, kind of insights and quality AI that we're bringing in the market, agent specific, you know, we have a lot of features to make this agent super agent through Agent Assist. And then customers, you know, most of these kind of new features are coming in the Dialogflow side that can make customers feel like they're talking to humans for better customer experience.
No, I mean, that's amazing. Thank you, Jihi. So, I mean, you did a great job summarizing it, because there was a lot of, you know, components here that I think are coming into what I'll say the traditional CCaaS place, right? So for those that aren't familiar, you know, Google has had CCAI, which is that virtual agent, over the last several years. Lots of success. There's great use cases out there. I think in the last 18 months, the new CCaaS platform from Google has come to market, which, you know, CCAI platform, which really is that end-to-end platform. The thing that's exciting for us when we start having these conversations with customers is just the expansion of capabilities that Google's starting to get into, where traditionally you would have to go get some of this functionality from a workforce management system, or you'd have to go get it from a coaching tool, or you'd get it from a training tool. And now it's becoming kind of a full ecosystem where you can train these models and apply them in many different areas. It makes it much easier for us to, with our customers, especially, to be able to go in and look at all the components that we can provide in a single ecosystem, you know, single product really from the Google side. So it's really, it's exciting. I'm not sure I can pick which one's my favorite, but I love Call Companion. So I think that one's going to be one of the most disruptive ones for sure. So, okay, so let's pivot for a second here. We've talked about kind of the way that we're enabling both the end customer. We've talked about, you know, from an agent assist standpoint. Typically, once we kind of have those conversations, a lot of the questions that I get back from customers gets into the data side of things. And so we start figuring out, okay, what's the importance of data? How clean does it need to be? How do I actually get it in the right place so that I can leverage a large language model and I can train it on our data? You know, we want that to obviously be private and secure and be able to leverage that. So Ricardo, I don't know if you've had thoughts around this, kind of some of the interactions that you're having with customers, you know, when it comes to the ingestion of data, that concept, but I'd love to get your thoughts there.
Amazing. Absolutely. So Caleb, let's think about Vertex AI. And as we mentioned before, CCAI, Vertex AI Conversation, is part of the Vertex AI platform. And when you were talking about training or using data in order to customize a model or in order to tune a model or even in order to train a virtual agent, we are talking about customers using their data in order to, again, train, in order to customize, in order to have like a virtual agent, for instance, grounded and leveraging our customer data. But the first thing that I'd like to call out is the data that our customers are using in order to customize a model, in order to train a model, or in order to train our virtual agents. It is the customer data. So it is secure in the customer tenant. So if customer A is like leveraging or using their data for this type of trainings, our customers can be like secure, making sure that their data, it's in their tenant. So that's the first call out that I'd like to bring. The second thing, you're talking about types of data. So we have like customers with, or majority of our customers, they do have like structured data and unstructured data also available. And this set of data can be used in order to train, again, the services and the products that we have available as part of our Vertex AI. GE was sharing a few examples of the capabilities that we have on CCAI, like Agent Assist, that live coaching or real-time coaches like live agents.
Right.
So data or Agent Assist will be using the customer data in order to learn about the business, the line of business of that company, to help the live agent to respond customers, to respond to clients in a more specific, in a right way as well. When you're thinking also about ingesting data, when you're thinking about also customizing your data or using your data to customize a model as part of Vertex AI, we have a set of tools that are part of our model garden to help our customers in order to really fine tune it, use it in order to customize a model. Also, it's important to share that as part of our Vertex AI, we have our Google connectors. For instance, if your data is in a Google Cloud instance or in a Google storage, better saying, we do have like the connectors ready for our Vertex AI search and conversation, for instance. But we are also working to have available connectors for third-party applications, which is also very useful for customers bringing data from other type of applications as well. We have like connectors with BigQuery. So a lot of customers, they have like their data on BigQuery, and we have the connectors ready in order to have that data leveraged and used in our Vertex AI. One more thing that I would like to bring for this conversation here is, you can imagine, for instance, when you're having an AI solution like a virtual agent interacting with clients, interacting with people every day, every time, the amount of data that is generated from there.
Right.
But we also help, Caleb, our customers to have access to that data and get intel, get insights from that data using Google Insights, but also connecting that data, that insights generated by our solution called Google Insights, to Looker for generating custom dashboards, custom views that will help like companies to make smarter decisions. So I try to show that under Vertex AI in products that we have as part of Google Cloud, we can help you to use that data in order to train the solution that you're developing, in order to leverage that data for the solution that you're developing, having the AI solution customized based on your data. And that's not the end. We can also help you to get insights from conversations, from search, from interactions that companies are having with their clients.
Totally makes sense. No, that's perfect, Ricardo. I mean, data is a key piece. There's a tremendous amount of data that comes out of both the contact center and that full customer journey. And so having the right tools to be able to leverage that is absolutely, I think it's kind of the next evolution of where things are going, especially in the contact center side. So Jihi, we've got a few minutes left. I want to ask you one other question, and Ricardo, you're welcome to chime in on this. But let's take it kind of from, theoretical and things that are available into kind of real world use case for a second. I don't know if you've got just kind of a customer story or an example of something over the last kind of year or so where you say, this has been done well, or here's where somebody is leveraging Vertex and CCAI, and it's a good example. But I think that helps kind of put it in real world terms for people.
Yeah. So I could talk. Yeah, I can talk about like maybe like two kind of customers. So like one is this like large retailer that is based in North America, who kind of like use our kind of quality AI tool to increase. So traditionally they were spending about like 8 minutes per conversations to analyze the conversation, and they were only like covering about like 1% of the conversations. With an LLM, based auto scoring the quality AI offers, they were basically able to reduce like 8 minutes per conversation for evaluation down to like 3 seconds. I mean, this is like a machine, so you can also do the analysis up to unlimited number of conversations that are coming in, and as a result, they were able to obviously increase the coverage, but also be able to provide a lot more kind of comprehensive coaching feedback to their agents, as well as getting insights into, okay, why are my conversations that has a topic of promo have just lower customer satisfaction score? Is that because it's the process issue? Is that because it is the agent issue, that they were not trained in this topics, particularly well? So these are the level of like insights that they were able to get by, again, increasing the coverage from like 1% to about 100%.
Wow.
So this is one example that I can think of. And then the second example, we worked with this like large kind of global software, like tech company who was trying to basically remove like language barriers in contact centers. We all know, like, you have Google Translate. Like, we have the technology these days that can really remove this like language barriers. So we worked with this company to roll out a chat based real-time translation that allowed them, their agents who were only primarily speaking English, to serve I forgot exactly the number of the markets they were serving, but about like a lot of countries globally, and customers who do not speak English. So I think these two examples just kind of show like what is possible now in the contact center with the new technologies, and we're excited to add more to this list.
No, that's perfect. Gee, thank you so much. So I think we're basically at time. So first of all, just want to thank you both. Awesome for you to join and share your knowledge and expertise on this. Thank you. Really quick, I think I saw a question come in, and so let me check this really quick before we wrap up here. So Kevin had a question. So if quality AI is going into preview shortly, do you have an estimate of when it might be going to GA? With a caveat here that they're a HIPAA organization, and so there's obviously some data sensitivity there. So just love to get the kind of timing on some of this.
At the end of June, 2024.
Okay,
so it's going to be a fast follow from preview. So yeah.
So Kevin, I think the easy call out there is if you've got interest in that, he's an expert in this, and we probably would love to show you some of this. So feel free to reach out. So thank you everybody for joining. We'll make sure that there's a recording of this that's available. You can go to ttecdigital.com. We'll post all the video there, and there's a lot more resources available on that website for you. And please keep an eye out for our upcoming webinars. We'll have another one in March. We'll be digging into more topics around Vertex AI and Google Cloud and the customer experience. So Thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Jihi. Wonderful to have you. We'll talk to everybody
Thank
soon.
you.
Thanks.